As you guys already know from the title, it is weapon review time, and it's been a little while since I've done one of these, but today we're looking at the AK117 assault rifle. This is an assault rifle that has kind of changed a lot in terms of people's opinion on it. So in season 1 and in the beta even, if you guys remember, this was an absolute beast and pretty much everyone's first pick for an AR. It got nerfed pretty hard and was ignored for a while, and more recently it's been picked up a bit more. So as well as looking at the stats of this weapon and how you can use it most effectively, we'll also compare how good it is versus the other assault rifles. But before we get into all that, I would love if you guys could hit the like and subscribe button on this video. We're getting a little bit closer to 200, and of course I'm streaming as well, so if you're enjoying this sort of stuff or you're interested in that, be sure to check out my channel for more. Without further ado though, let's get into the video. As per usual, I'll give you guys the damage ranges first, since the point of these guns is to shoot at your enemies. So the AK117 is a 5-shot kill out to 25 meters, and after that it's a 6-shot kill. One thing about the 5-shot kill range is that it does drop off in stages, so out to 20 meters you'll only need 1 headshot to drop it down to a 4-shot kill because of the 1.2 times headshot multiplier, but after that, between 20 and 25 meters you'll need 2 headshots for a 4-shot kill. Most assault rifles in this game do have a 4-shot kill range up close, so unfortunately it's not going to be as competitive there, but as you get further away it holds its damage and range quite well, so further out for this weapon is generally good. All this damage though doesn't mean too much without the other side of the time to kill coin, so we'll look at rate of fire next. The AK117 fires at a really nice 766 rounds per minute, so high rate of fire in this game generally means that it's more forgiving when you miss your shots, so you lose less on the time to kill side for every shot you miss, which is very nice especially on a mobile shooter where you might not be as on point. The high rate of fire also makes guns easier to use up close, so that's especially important when you're trying to compensate for the low-ish damage at close range for this weapon. But overall, in terms of time to kill, you're getting a really nice time to kill for an assault rifle past about 20 meters, but inside 20 meters you might be beaten out by some of the other faster killing assault rifles, and if your enemies are really good at hitting their shots, you will lose out there. The next stat we'll have a look at on this gun is recoil, and the recoil on this weapon is extremely controllable, you guys will find. It's not quite an M4 on an ICR where you literally just point and click, or in this case point and tap, but it is very controllable in terms of its horizontal and vertical recoil. It's not like just vertical where you have to pull down a lot, which still makes some guns kind of tough under pressure. This weapon is pretty much a point and shoot at most ranges you'll be using it at, which is pretty in line with how you should use this weapon now at slightly longer ranges. If you guys have been using this weapon since season 1, you'll know that's pretty different to how it used to be. This thing used to be an absolute beast up close that you could use further out, which is kind of like the meta for assault rifles right now. They usually fit that kind of style, but this weapon has evolved quite a bit since then, and while it is still really good, it is very good in a different way. I do think that's led to this weapon becoming a little bit underrated as of now, but we'll talk a little bit about that after we've had a look at the handling stats. So here's where I'll go over the movement speed and ADS time and hipfire spread of this weapon. So on handling, this gun is pretty good all round. It handles quite nicely and it won't feel too sluggish. Being on the better side of assault rifle handling lets you start competing with SMGs a little bit, so while you won't be running around as fast as them, this weapon will feel pretty quick in your hands and you can sprint around the map, especially with a perk like lightweight, quite well with this gun. That is all for stats, but I kind of want to talk now about more like my thoughts on the weapon. This is more opinion based, so feel free to disagree or discuss anything I've said here in the comments, but this gun, I feel like people kind of use it wrong because they see or they feel a high rate of fire weapon and they go, oh, high rate of fire means close range, and while generally that's right, somehow they've turned a high rate of fire weapon into one of the best long range assault rifles in the game. It has good damage and it has a much better rate of fire than some other long range assault rifles like the M4 and the AK-47. So while it doesn't necessarily reward headshots as much as the AK-47, it is a very good gun that can be used pretty much at all range, and it's a very easy weapon to use as well. So if you're a bit of a lower level player or you're getting started on the game, while high rate of fire weapons might seem scary because usually they kick a lot and they bounce around your screen heaps, this is a great pickup to have, and I don't believe it's too hard to unlock. I remember the first one I bought was the balloon skin. That's like a really OG throwback thing. It was in the credit store and it used to cost 3,000 credits and everyone was picking it up because it was like an absolute beast. But now, unfortunately, guns like the HBR BK57 and the KN44 and LK24 are all kind of considered better or more popular just because as you go up to higher levels, close range damage and close range time to kill is still kind of king. Obviously that's not everything though, because otherwise shotguns and SMGs would just be like the only thing that's viable, or sniper rifles if you're really good at quickscoping, but I think this weapon should be used as like a long range weapon that is also quite good at, or not quite good, but quite competitive at close range just because of the rate of fire. When you have a slower time to kill, it does fire faster than pretty much all those assault rifles that I mentioned, so it does make up on the time to kill a little bit there, but overall, this is a really good gun and I think you guys should use it, but if you want to be at your absolute best, I do believe that the KN44 and the HBR in the current state of the game are slightly better options. One other little side note that I mentioned before we get into the attachments is that if you have a purple tier skin with the 10% range boost perk, or it just calls it a range boost in the game description, but it is about 10%, this gun will become a lot better again. I don't want to get into the pay to win debate too much, but it is pretty solid, and because it has good range, that booster helps it even more. Now though, we'll look at attachments, and this is also pretty standard with maybe one exception, but we're running quick draw, extended mag, and the laser sight on this gun. So firstly, quick draw. Again, you guys are tired of hearing me say this, but just in case you're here for the first time, quick draw helps you aim at your enemies faster. You can get that sight on them and you can start pulling the trigger faster, which effectively results in a faster time to kill. So I will always recommend quick draw. I run it on every single gun in this game that it lets me. The next attachment is extended mag, and extended mag is good for high rate of fire weapons because it just lets you keep firing even longer, and because this is one of the highest fire rate assault rifle, I think that this is a really important attachment and you should definitely not go without it. That extra 8 rounds will go a long way. And finally, the one that's probably worth the most discussion is laser sight. So this gun doesn't really need foregrip because firstly, the recoil is already quite controllable, but secondly, the foregrip doesn't help too much. If you guys like the recoil pattern more with foregrip, of course go for it, but laser sight I think also helps make up for the deficiency a little bit at close range. So when you're in a close range fight, you can save a bit of extra time, even if the enemy's killing you faster. If you can just start firing at them without having to worry about aiming down sights, you will save time on that though. But if you think that your ADSing at close range is really accurate, it will result in less shots missed, so you can run stock instead, so you can strafe faster and win more of those medium range gunfights. My pick on this weapon though is laser sight, but if you've seen my streams, I like to hip fire probably a bit more than I should. That's partly because I'm a bit out of practice and my kind of snap ADSing is not as nice as it should be, but I think that laser sight is a great attachment for this weapon, but if you don't want laser sight, definitely run stock. That is all I have for the video today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it and I hope you found it interesting or learned something. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on this video. I'm back streaming again and I will hopefully be back with more videos. I know I've been a little bit delayed with that, but I will see you all in the next one.